Okay, this is Build Your Business 52-week free training. Implement, get set into action, and grow. I am doing a test. Oh no, I'm not doing a test. Can't find my signal. Auto start hasn't started. Okay. Looks like I am live in Build Your Business in 52 Weeks free training. And we're going to do this again because we like to implement and get into action and grow. And one of these days, I'm going to get it right. So implement club. Let's implement. Why, it looks like it's actually streaming. Okay. There's where you can sign up. And here's the intro. Jane Gardner, implement.club. Today, it's all about creating your content factory. So we're going to have to find me. There I am. Hey, let's try this again. One of these days I'll get the software correct and it will come at the right time. My apologies if I'm doing this twice. But let's go and start it again so I can do this training and then it can be put into a course so that you can see it later for free. So let's go do this again. Hello, this is Jane Gardner at janegardner.com, and we're going to be at implement.club today because we are going to build your business. 52-week free training. Implement, get into action, and grow. So let's go and find out what Create Your Content Factory is today. So we've been talking about 15 principles of building your business. We've looked at your core values, your mindset, your brand, being an educator, doing a weekly workshop, creating a product snowball, developing a strategic marketing framework, and today we're going to be talking about creating a content factory. So let's get started. We're going to look at creating your content factory and why. What is a content factory? Well, as mentioned before, you need to be visible, consistent, and authentic with everything you do if it's the values that you want to do. So obviously you have to be visible, consistent with your social media and other content releases onto your social media, onto your media platforms, etc. If you want to be visible, I be visible by getting myself on camera, but we can discuss that later. Your business needs to be top of mind for your viewers, your subscribers, your clients and customers. And the only way to do that is to be consistent and visible in what you do. So you need to be releasing content on a consistent basis. Oh no, more work? No. Well, there's a secret to that, so we'll see that in just a brief minute. Your content needs to be visible on a regular basis. Well, if you are using the educator principle and the weekly workshop, you will be producing content of value to your audience, customers, and clients. You just need to bundle or edit your content you create to be consumable for other platforms. So that's the secret. You're already creating a weekly workshop. Just keep it in mind that you want a content factory and how you can repurpose what you do in your weekly workshop in order to make content. So for example, I could use this slide, what is a content factory? Since most people don't know what a content factory is until you actually say so, and create a slide, content, and maybe a post with a video, explanation point, briefer than this, and boom, you've got content. You've already done it, just reuse it. And so why do you need to be a content factory? Well, ideally, you want to connect with your customers, your prospects, your subscribers, your members on the basis of your philosophy and values so they get to know you. And this is different from pure direct response, where you connect on the basis of people's base needs, emotional, and their initial responses to their needs. So for my example that I use with ChatGPT, right now everybody's talking about ChatGPT and how it's going to change the world and how they have their own ChatGPT advice and content and things that you can buy in order to do ChatGPT, etc. Well, that is temporary. In that, of course, we'll still have ChatGPT, but it won't be new. So you don't want to always have me talking about what's new if it's not anything to do with your philosophy or values. So that is sort of direct response to a customer's emotional need to create content. But what I'm telling you is you have to have a principle of being a content factory in that you use what you're already doing and make it into content for your social media and your platforms, etc. So while direct response is valid and it works, you will want to have people that buy from you who are congruent with where you are taking them, what you believe in, and what you do. So you want your tribe. I have another training called eTribe where I talk about how to create your eTribe. And maybe what I should do is have that as the offer. I'll have to think about that. But to do that, people need to know what you believe and why you believe it. This requires constant communication in every way so that your customer consumes your content and uses your media platforms that they do and find it on their platforms that they use. So yes, we have to do social media regardless. If you want to have your base of your business, build it and make it grow, you need to, of course, use social media. But easily, since we're making a content factory. So what does it mean to have a philosophy? What's a philosophy? Well, it's something that you believe in. It doesn't have to be your values. For example, I believe in implementation. I have an expression that I'll mention later, and I have a few other expressions that I believe in, and they've, over time, being on the internet, they have developed. And so my philosophy is, of course, implement is one of them anyway. What are the guiding principles for success with what you will be teaching? So you need to be able to talk about your philosophy and why you believe in it, and also why you are doing what you're doing when you are teaching your weekly workshop, etc. So how do people need to behave? What do they need to think? And what do people need to do when they're interacting with you? You need to tell them, because people don't know what type of person you are until you tell them, or what you believe in. So if they believe that you like to implement, then they will come and follow you because they need to implement, for example. So you need to be always open and honest and authentic, be consistent and visible. That is what these principles are all about, to build your business, being consistent and being visible. Then people know who you are, and then people know, like, and trust you. So there you go. This isn't mandatory, but you need to be clear about what it will take for people to be successful with your products or services. So, yes, I think every time that I have something to sell, I would really deeply think about, is it possible for someone to easily implement this and get some success with it? And there are a lot of technical trainings that I have that would be very easy for someone to learn how to create a sales page in Thrivecart, for example, and with those trainings. So in that way, you have to figure out, would they be successful? Well, yes. If they need a sales page in Thrivecart and they're sort of don't know what to do, you can help them. This isn't to say that people won't be successful without you. It just means that you know certain things which will help them get success. They can be successful with you if they agree with your philosophy. So if they agree that implementation is very important when it comes to being on the internet, then they will be successful and will follow me. This can be the case regardless of what niche you operate in. So, of course, another niche, there would be nothing about implementation. So for example, I like to use the niche tropical fish breeding because I love tropical fish, and at one point I was thinking of breeding tropical fish. Well, if someone believes certain things about how to breed tropical fish, and then they would follow you. So what does it mean to have a philosophy? Well, for example, I believe that imperfect action is better than no action. I believe a failure is just a mistake to learn from. I don't use the word failure because that word failure is crushing to your mindset. You implement, obviously, then you get into action and you grow. You're always moving forward if you're implementing. It may not be in the direction that you wanted to go. You may find that you get a mistake, but you learn from that mistake. So these are some of my philosophies that I will try and use more often. So another way to get people to know you is to name your systems. So you use your brand, your philosophy, and your values to name your systems so that every time you speak about it, people know, okay, that's what it means. So if you're communicating your philosophy on a regular basis, you need to give people names that you will be known for. It's important that if you're going to use someone else's ideas, that you credit them for it. But at the same time, if you're giving people a new perspective on the matter, use the name you give the concept. This name should be based on your beliefs, on your experience, and documentation that you've done it before. I was given permission to use Product Snowball and or Content Factory for these two principles, and these branded names convey the actions of that process so easily that when I explain it the first time, it is, I think, very easy to understand what I mean by a product snowball. So I feel it's a perfect name, so I don't need to change it. And I've been given permission to use those names for my system. And same for Content Factory. What we're saying about Content Factory is no, you don't have to do a lot of work in order to get visible, authentic, and to get out there. But you do need to be aware of the principle and try and get it from the content that you're doing for your weekly workshop. So you need to teach your philosophy on a regular basis. I haven't done that really yet. I haven't done any webinars on implementations or anything, and maybe I should. But for now, we're talking about building your business. You will want to teach it on a regular basis. You should be teaching it and integrating it into your weekly workshop. So I probably should use some of those quotes in my weekly workshop. And you should be teaching and integrating into your daily newsletter, into your emails, into any video you do, into audio and PDFs and checklists. You should be creating products around your philosophy. When you teach, in some cases, you may or not make a fair number of sales or generate activity, but what you're doing is, of course, building your philosophy out there so that people become more aware of you, become more aware of your values and your philosophy. What you're doing is documenting your philosophy or planting your flag. So you will know after following me for a while that I believe in consistency, authenticity, and being obviously implementing. So by doing this on a regular basis, it will get out there and you will get to be known for who you are and what you do. So your main tools for communicating your philosophy are your blog, your newsletter, your email, your website, your weekly workshop, your products, your content, everything that you do. If you're writing on an everyday basis in a newsletter, you will have the opportunity to communicate your thoughts about the niche and your philosophy. If you're communicating core principles, you want to double document the content because you want to be able to make sure that there's enough content out there that's communicating your core principles. Make sure the content also appears on your blog and then you publish your blog so that it appears in search. So I've got to do a few more posts because if you have 100 posts of 300 words on your blog, you're going to be getting out there and being known just by in search in Google. But you can, of course, consolidate these thoughts into a book. You could do it in Kindle, paperback, or audiobook. And then this is important as copyrights and trademarks can be costly to defend. So make sure that you have permission to use certain brand names and create your own. And make sure it's out there so that everybody knows when you put it out there. You want people to hear your ideas and say that sounds just like you. So this is all about creating content that communicates your philosophy. And why do we need that? Well, I'll tell you in a minute. Because we've looked at creating your content factory to communicate your philosophy. You've got your marketing going. You've got a product snowball. You're doing a weekly workshop. You're developing your brand, your mindset, and your core values. Well, all this falls into the idea and concept and principle of building a massive network. If people know who you are and what your philosophy is, and you're communicating your philosophy out there, and they get to know you, well, they're more likely to want to be able to collaborate with you, be able to do joint ventures with you, to share your content because they know you have lots of content that they like, etc. So we're going to be talking about building a massive network next time. And if you want to join for free trainings, there's the webpage, but I'll give you the shorthand, which is at jgtips.com/BYB free. And I've also put it as a link on the website, implement.club menu. Or you can join our Facebook group at facebookgroup.com/groups/implement-club. So I did this twice because I believe I've got to learn my software in order to do this. So so this is it. This is all about implementing. This is all about implementing and getting people to know that you're consistent and visible and authentic. That's definitely me. And doing it again if it doesn't work the first time. So hopefully this is streamed and you've enjoyed it. And please leave a comment if you know that you've seen it. Next time, I need to do practicing in order to get this right. I think I got it right now, but we'll see because I forgot to record it. So since I forgot to record it, I'm going to go into Facebook and download one of the videos and see which I like the best in order to edit and use for my content factory. So yeah, it's time to get out there, Jane, and put it on to your social media. So that's my thing for the